So
We're doing a teaching game.
yeah, so we're just talking through your and my thought process and comparing them and contrasting and
All right.
seeing how they differ, what we can do about it.
Sure. Oh,
So your first move, you can play just about anything. All right, that's good.
Sure.
Yeah, so I usually think about the first 5 moves of the game. Almost anything is good enough. It's mostly a matter of getting a position that you're comfortable with and know what to do with. So, all right, this is all perfectly normal.
All right.
So this is an opening I'm pretty comfortable with also. Okay. So this is, I think, probably the first time when I would actually start to think a little bit.
Okay.
I think I have some weakness on the top, the O17 stone.
Mm-hmm.
And my D4 stone is, and your F3 stone are both a little bit weak. So there's a little more weakness on the bottom than in the top. So I think that's what I'm going to focus on. But I would like to get Sente here in order to play on top if I can. And if I can't, that's okay. Also, I'm a little low on the upper left, so I think I'm going to pick this high move, just sort of balance. This is fine. I mean, we're still at the point where it's anything that you want to play, but that's sort of the thought process that went into this.
Sure. So I don't really.
So
I don't know how to jump into your corner from here. Like maybe like a D3
you don't.
attachment. So that's why I'm probably gonna back off. I think. So.
Okay, you're going to back off. So there's the D3 attachment, and there's like K4, and there's a slightly older D2, which is still perfectly fine and playable. Or you can just leave. Any of those are fine. All right, so we're going to do this one.
I think I was leaning towards like a J4 just to cut out the weakness, but.
Okay, J4 is a move. Let's see, maybe we can talk about it a little bit. The best way that I know of to do any kind of teaching games in OGS is to do this. So I've set up a review for this game.
Sure.
So let me send you a link on Discord. There we go.
Yeah, I'm in it.
Okay. So, usually you want, sort of, you think about, like, these kind of two-space bases, right? Because you don't want to have this invasion point.
Sure.
Right? But the problem with them is that usually white will kick here, and then if you stand up, then this is a little bit close. That's the theory, right?
Yes.
So, when you back off here, the idea is not to prevent a black invasion, to a white invasion. That's not what you're trying to do here. White can invade, and your idea is, okay, that's fine. So, you have 2 ways to defend this stone. Do we agree that the invasion, the only reason that's important is because it might be attacking that stone, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Right. So there's 2 basic ideas. The first is you can just play on top.
Okay.
Right? And, there's something or other, your stone is connected and you're fine.
Right.
Right? Please do not worry about any of this points at the bottom. That doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay? You had a weak stone, and it's not weak anymore.
Okay.
This is success.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
The other alternative is you can actually sacrifice this stone very easily. You can do, it doesn't have to be exactly this move. But if something like this were to happen, you can still live in the corner. And since you live in the corner, this is the usual sequence, like this. This is not very big. Let's put some triangles. Here. This is not very big.
True. Yeah.
So, essentially, the reason white invades is because it's attacking the triangle stone, and you can either defend it by trying to connect, And there's various sequences here. You can do this sort of thing. This also exists, usually like this. And this is all fine. Or you can sort of rely on invading the corner and sacrificing it if you have to.
Right.
And these are both perfectly acceptable ways of handling it. Like, it's not, maybe I said the wrong word, if you have to. This is actually perfectly fine. This isn't like an emergency measure, sacrificing the stone.
Interesting. That's good to know.
So that's the idea.
Works. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
All right, so I'm going to go back to the actual game because it's my turn.
Yes. Oops,
All right.
Let's go.
Usually you just go back. And I'm going to play, let's see. I'm just going to defend my weak stone.
There we go. Okay. All right.
Okay, and this is the standard Joseki in this position.
Yes.
Okay, and you know this. That's fine. And this is all well and good. And which move do you like here? You like this one. Okay. This is fine. I actually like that one too.
Okay. I never know if I should.
All right. So what are we thinking?
Yeah. I have. Well, I feel like my group is okay right now on the top right. It's not alive.
Yes, it's very strong actually, right?
But it's pretty strong.
So if you extend to S17, you have eyes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. So if I wanted to attack you, I would have to capture your cornerstone.
Correct. Right.
Which is pretty slow.
At this point in the game, yeah. So.
Yeah. So you're fine. Right? That group is fine. So where else is their weakness?
The top left corner could be like, I know, like you could attach in there and try to do some stuff.
There's some mess you can try in that if you want to. Yes.
In terms of weakness, though, I guess...
usually that mess, what ends up happening is that you end up with a group sort of on the upper side.
Right.
Does that look appealing to you?
It's kind of small right now and low. So,
that's not the reason it's not appealing.
Oh.
Yes, it doesn't look very appealing, but it has nothing to do with being small or low. You see that N17 white stone?
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is that weak?
No, I'm not going to go.
It's very strong, right? So putting a group on the top side is going to do absolutely nothing to that group. You're not going to make it flinch.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So yes, there's some weakness sort of in the corner, but not really on the upper side.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. So where else might there be weakness?
Honestly, it doesn't feel like you're very weak on your side. I mean,
well,
I guess there's.
I have some weaknesses. You pointed out one of them.
You know, I guess I could like jump into like your 3-3 point or the D3 attachment. Maybe I can try to go to the left side.
That lower left white group, those D4 and D6 stones, those are not super strong, right? They don't have immediate access to eyes. The usual move you would try to mess with that would be C8. We can go back to our review and I can point it out, but I think just talking through it is probably enough. Yeah. So that's the usual way to do it. You're saying I can either mess with your eyes or surround you. That's possible. How about your weaknesses?
Well, I'd say my bottom side is pretty thin.
Your bottom side has several weaknesses, right?
Yeah, it's
so
pretty
let's compare the move you were talking about you're attaching at D16 and you end up with a group on the upper side.
Right.
And compare that to me attaching at Q4 and I end up with a group on the lower side.
You're in a much better position. Yeah.
Right. That attachment's much more interesting, right?
Yeah.
Because the K4 stones are not as strong as the N17 stone.
What if I did like an O4 move or something?
That's a possibility. I would recommend trying for something really big if you were going to try to like expand. You can also just defend. There's a lot of ways to do that. You have a lot of choices. I mean, this is a matter of style. I'm just trying to show you how I think about the position, what kinds of moves come to mind.
Yeah. No, I'm seeing the weaknesses. I'm not sure how to be productive. Like, I feel like I'll be on Gote if I try to fix my weakness.
Well, you can try to fix in Gote, and that's usually okay. Eliminating important weaknesses and is a perfectly useful. It's a good use of a move. That's fine.
Would just,
So, what kinds of moves are you thinking of that feel Gote to you?
anything else in the bottom right corner right now to solidify that?
Okay, so adding a move into the bottom right corner is a little slow,
Yeah.
right? In the corner is slow. But, I mean, you have weakness in several parts. I was thinking, so you have some weakness around H3, and
Right.
I have some weakness around D4,
Right.
right? So there's two groups that have some weaknesses that are nearby.
So I guess the D3 attachment feels like the best move.
D3 attachment seems fine. I was going to suggest something like F5. D3 is also fine.
Oh, F5.
E5 is a popular move nowadays because of AI. But moves sort of in that general area look like they probably help you defend a weakness and also sort of are
Grow.
Sente-ish. They poke at me.
Okay. I never even would have considered to jump out like that at this point. But it makes sense because I'm growing my side. I'm getting stronger. So I'm like being productive with my move. So okay.
Yeah.
I'll
The D3 attachment is also perfectly good, as is maybe sliding at D2. All of those make sense.
I think the slide actually I'm gonna go with.
Okay.
It feels like something I might
So
do.
what do you think I'm going to play?
C3 100%.
Right. Why?
Just to protect your corner.
Right, to protect my group.
Yeah. Your group.
Yeah, I'm not actually making any points in the corner, right?
Yeah.
But I am protecting the eye space of my group. Now, what are you going to do?
I've seen people go C2 as a follow-up.
That's a terrible idea. Don't do that.
But I don't want to do that.
Yeah, don't play C2. C2 does not really threaten my eye space, and it doesn't really defend your group either.
I guess I could do like that. I have two options, like C8 move or like a F5 jump out.
Okay, so maybe we didn't really follow what D2 is doing. Can we go back to our review?
Yeah. I just figured
Oh, it actually updates. This is great. Okay, this is fine. You might want to open them on like two tabs or something.
yeah. Like,
Yeah. So, remember how earlier I said that, let's see, let's make some nothing move. That when white invades, you always have the option of sacrificing and invading at A,
yeah.
right? And now you just did this. Do you have that option anymore?
No,
Right.
not an option. So that.
So this
H4 is
this makes a
actually
big
stronger.
difference when white invades,
Yeah, it does.
right? It becomes much more severe.
Interesting.
So you probably want to prevent white from invading.
True. Yeah.
Right? So a very common thing to do is after we make this exchange, you play here.
Just jump out. Yeah.
Just jump out. Now, this is not too different from when I said just jump out,
Yeah.
right? This exchange is optional, and it's perfectly fine. If you jump out, then sometimes white can do this, and you might not like that.
Sure.
Yeah, so it's up to you. I also said I suggested this one because it's a little more directly bothering one of white's weaknesses, but I mean, it's the same basic idea.
All right.
Right? So when you make this exchange, you almost always defend. Somehow.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So back to the game. That's the idea, right? You've made an exchange. You're essentially you've started to defend a weakness of yours, but you didn't actually. But when I responded, that actually kept the weakness alive. Okay, so you like this move. This is fine.
Yeah.
So I'm going to think about what I'm going to play here. It looks to me like all of my groups are safe.
I would say so.
Right? They all have obvious paths to eyes. So, my style here would probably be, okay, let's bother one of your weaknesses since I don't have anything I need to worry about right now. Okay?
Sure.
So, your weaknesses are mostly around the right side. And we've agreed that I can't really attack the upper right group. Right?
Right.
But I can bother it. Like, it's not completely alive yet. So this is the move I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
So
it's
this is
pretty
a move to sort of bothers your group.
Yep.
This is the main idea I'm thinking of, is that I don't really have anything good on the bottom side. So I'm going to bother the top side. I don't think you're going to want to let me play something like R13 without doing something first yourself, right?
Right.
So that's the whole idea. I'm just bothering your group, and I'm pretty safe where I am, right? I have very easy ways to run out.
If I play R13 myself, it feels kind of sad a little bit, but
It's a little bit sad.
yeah.
It's still playable, but it's a little bit sad, yes.
So what's better? I have to
Okay.
respond probably somehow in that area. So
You have to respond somehow in that area. Well, you don't have to. But again, if I get R13, then you might have to worry about me taking the cornerstone and just suddenly be very weak. So if I get R13, that is probably Sente against your group.
I guess I need
Like,
to
that
go
threatens
R13
to make
myself.
your group weak.
Yeah.
So you can, R13, it's a little bit slow, but it's not like my stone is doing that much yet either. So you can play it. So that you can also respond very aggressively, and that's also okay.
I'm thinking maybe even like a Q11 move, like some kind of like pincer.
Right, Q11 is a very aggressive idea.
Yeah, maybe too much. Yeah, another week.
No, you can try it.
Well, what will you do? You said you'll jump into R13 if I do something like that.
Well, so let's actually look at that. Let's go back to the review. Let's say you play here and I play here. So who's strong and who's weak in this position?
Yeah, it just doesn't feel good for me actually.
Really? I think white looks pretty weak.
Really? Huh.
Because what if you try to surround me like this?
Yeah, maybe you could like take the R17 stone now, I guess, and
So you want me to capture here, and you go here? Am I dead? I'm probably dead,
yeah.
right?
Okay.
So I don't think I could play this way. I might be able to play this far, but then I would have to try to get out somehow.
Right.
Right? So I mean, this is a fighting variation, but I don't think it's dangerous for you. I mean, okay, I don't think it's dangerous in this way.
Right.
Right? This way might be a little bit dangerous, right? Because as I come out, I'm also surrounding you. This is an important way to fight.
Right.
I need to defend my weak stones. Now, this is a very important when I pick this direction. If I play over here, which stones am I defending?
You're really not. I guess
I'm
the
defending
top
these
side,
guys,
but they're
right?
already alive. Yeah.
Yeah, they're completely safe, right? So when I attack, you're going to pick a move that combines attack and defense. It's important to defend your stones also. What side are you playing from? These guys are weak. Let's get rid of some of these symbols because it's too many. So square is weak. Triangle is not weak.
True. Yeah.
So I play from this. I play from the side that's weak.
All right.
It's a very important fighting concept, right? If I play from the other side, then I can get in a lot of trouble.
Yep. I see what you're saying now.
And notice 7. You don't play from this side,
Right.
right? You play from the side that's weak. Even if maybe I can live like this or something. Maybe I can do that. You don't worry. You don't care about that. You do not play from this side because this is dangerous.
Yeah, I'm like pushing you into my weak group if I do that.
Right, exactly. You push, so you want to defend the weak group as you attack, right? So that's why you play here, even if it might give me a way to live. I think actually now that I'm looking at it, it probably doesn't kill me. It looks like I can play here, threatening to connect today. And if you go here, something I can play here.
Oh.
So it looks like I can live, but I still don't think that's good. I still think this is actually a pretty good result for you.
Gotcha. Huh.
Right?
Yeah.
Because, because I'm still weak. You can still bother this group. Like, just because it's going to survive doesn't mean it's going to do well. And your group is no longer weak. Right? You pretty much have an eye at square.
Right. Okay. So what would be like a non-aggressive normal move to like...
So if you don't want to fight, you can just, you were talking about this move. That's fine. Right? It's a little bit slow, but I mean, you had a group that could have gotten weak, and now it's much stronger. This is fine.
Right. And now I don't really have to worry like too much about anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also fine.
Okay.
100% playable. So I'm going back to the game.
Okay. I think I'll just keep it solid then. Just
Okay, this is
slow,
perfectly
but
fine.
just-
So,
don't go crazy.
I have a stone that's kind of weak, and I'm trying to decide whether I want to add something else to try to defend it a little bit and continue with that group, or whether I think I should sacrifice. So, these are basically the only two options. Right? If I do not continue there, I am sacrificing. If I omit, if I don't play there, and then you attack me, I am not going to defend it. Right? And if I continue, I'm actually sort of committing to this group. It's a move that makes a commitment. I think I actually want to commit. I think I want to play here.
Okay.
This has to do a little bit with limiting sort of what you can do on the bottom, but I mean, it's just this is one way of playing. Whether this is, I'm not even completely convinced this is a good idea, but
My first
I think it'll
instinct-
lead to situations that are instructive.
There. I guess my first instinct is to split it with like a wedge and then pull back to get some cutting points.
So a wedge is possible.
But I could also...
You want to go back to the review board? So you're talking about this, right?
Yep. And then now you got
Okay.
some weaknesses.
So what do
to
you
deal
think
with.
I will play?
You're probably gonna fill one of the two cutting points.
So
I'll
I'm
just-
probably going to play, I think, this.
Oh.
The most likely.
Okay.
So I need to defend the group somehow. So I think something around this, or let's see, this or this, maybe this. I definitely won't play this.
That's what I thought you would play.
Okay, so if I play here and you go here,
Yeah, it's just a free stone. Yeah.
do I care about this stone?
No, it was dead anyways. So.
Right. So I'd probably go there. You go here, and my group is actually much stronger. Like, this is complete success.
Oh.
Do you agree with me? That group is much stronger.
I would say so. It's gonna be really hard to kill. Yeah.
It's gonna hard to kill, hard to attack. I also have Sente, so I mean, if I wanted to defend it again, I could play. I could play something like this.
I've been eyeing that move for a while, but it doesn't ever feel like the right time.
Well, I don't think it's a good move until it's used to defend a weak group.
Right.
Then it suddenly becomes a lot better,
Yeah.
right? I could also defend like this. This is also probably good, or this. There's a lot of good ways to defend that group, and this group is much stronger. So if I do this, I don't think this is the move I'm worried about. I'm worried about you attacking the whole group. So moves I might be worried about might be this, or maybe this kind of thing. The whole group is under pressure. Right? This one stone is useless. Let's put a different symbol on that square. That stone is useless. It's the group I care about, not the stone. Right? Now, the other way, if I were to defend this way, and you cut... So, is either of these two something I can sacrifice easily?
Probably not, because the areas are pretty big. If they do
Yeah.
die.
So I think if I was going to sacrifice one of them, I would sacrifice the square group.
Right.
And that's kind of weird because that's the group I just defended when I connected.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so you don't want to sacrifice the one that defend the one that you're going to sacrifice. That's weird.
That doesn't make sense. Yeah.
You want to defend the other one. So I would probably defend with something like this. Something vaguely like that. Now, interestingly, I mean, if you cut here, I'm going to sacrifice this one. And, you know, something or other. If you cut this way, I'm probably going to sacrifice this one too. Like this. And notice how this is also success. I have defended my group.
Yeah. Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
So what's important is that I end up with something that makes sense in this part of the board.
It seems like I'm kind of helping you with that with this wedge move.
So no, I mean, this is okay. You probably wouldn't cut.
Just leave it
Right?
alone.
So I would want to play something maybe like this.
Just grow the bottom, pressure a little bit. Yeah.
You're putting pressure on the whole group.
Yep.
Right? The cut is helping me. Now, I wouldn't probably wedge. My instinct is something like this.
I thought about that too, actually. Yeah.
So the reason you might not want to play that, again, the wedge is a weak point, and white playing here does help with my shape a lot.
Right. Maybe I can push one
This
more
is the
time.
kind of move you play if you say, okay, I'm not going to attack you that severely. It's okay if you make this good shape, because, you know, I have... The way I usually think about this, when you have all this... These are the wrong symbols to be using because they're not different from each other.
Right.
Well, I'm trying... Right. So when you're doing something like this, the way I usually think about this, I don't think about this as like this huge black potential or something. I think about it as sort of as a virtual white weak group in this area. Like, white's going to probably have to invade there at some point.
True.
And so I'm thinking of this as like you're attacking that group.
Huh.
Even if the group doesn't exist yet, you're sort of like, white's going to have to make one.
Yeah.
So you're playing stones to attack it.
That's true.
That's the way I think about it.
No, that's a good point. In a lot of games, it feels like that ends up to be the case anyways. Where,
Right.
you know, if I was white, I'd be like, okay, I have to reduce that, otherwise game over. So. it
Right.
does
And
happen.
so then the moves around one, they're sort of designed to attack a future, a white group that's going to happen.
Huh. I would have never even thought about it like that, but
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Well, I mean, it's a different way of thinking about it. The other ways of describing what's going on are equally valid. This is just the way that makes sense in my head.
No,
It usually helps me when I'm trying to find out exactly where to place a stone like one. Is I think, okay, there's going to be a group in there that I'm trying to attack. What's a good spot to make that attack work? And that's sort of that's sort of how I figure out where I'm going to play that stone. Right now, one is mostly played in relation to this group here, right? Instead of necessarily thinking about this stuff over here. But I mean, that's the sort of a secondary purpose.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So there's some ideas. I'm going to go back to the board, and you can, pick whatever move you like.
Sounds good. I need a.
Oh no! Black wins by disconnection.
Wait, what? What happened? Oh,
Oh, I'll tell you what happened. We were in the review tab for too long. This is OGS rule. Is that if we're